This just in, Tennessee has an absolute ton of money, over a $200 million budget. Give me some of the numbers. Absolutely blew me away when Tennessee released that yesterday.
Yes, so Tennessee set an athletic revenue record for the 2022-2023 academic school year. The Vols had over $202 million in operating revenue, this is part of Danny White's, I think it's his $500 million goal, right? And it comes from
$500 million as a budget.
He has, I think it's a $500 million over like 3 years, to be fair. So like, or 2 years or something like that. But it's a raise $500 million. But 13%, which is, by the way, a pretty big number, came from ticket sales alone. 39.7 million in 2022-23. Contributions were 62.2 million in 2022 and 2023. Concessions and parking, there was a $12.2 million increase. And royalties, licensing, and sponsorships, there was a $23.9 million increase. That was all just in 2022-2023. And it's part of the Rise Glorious 5-year strategy plan that he wants to basically have an annual operating budget of over $200 million eventually. And Tennessee is ahead of its goal doing that. I think this is just further proof that, guys, I've told you this for a while. I didn't say Josh Heupel was a home run hire. I never said that. I'm not going to pretend I saw that coming. I thought it could work out. But the reason I believed in it is because I did say when Danny White was hired as athletic director, I said that's the most home run hire of all time. He's the best athletic director in all of college athletics. There's not a close second, quite honestly. And when you're dealing with
pretty strong, who would you even have at second?
I don't know. I don't know who I don't even know where I could go, honestly. I mean, I think Greg Byrne is a pretty good one at Alabama. I give him some credit. I can't blame him for the Nate Oates.
I don't like the way he handled basketball last year or this year.
Okay, I could see that. That's fair. But I mean, who else is there? I mean, I don't know anybody even close. Maybe, because here's the thing. Sometimes you can give an athletic director
credit. How about Southern California? I don't know who it is, but they were able to.
They're already regretting the Lincoln Riley hire.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying. I'm reaching for you.
I don't think there's a close second. I really don't. I mean, I can't go the Michigan athletic director with Juwan Howard and then Jim Harbaugh. You're right, is just playing him for a fiddle the whole time. I mean, if you look at what Tennessee athletics is doing and where they were when Danny White took over, this is Tennessee. I'm going to say it. Okay, maybe LSU. Is it Scott Woodward or is that the previous athletic director?
I'm not sure, but everybody knows you like.
He probably. Sorry.
No, okay. Sure, but everybody knows you like LSU.
LSU, the athletic director, he hired Kim Mulkey, won a national title. He hired the baseball coach who won a national title, and he got Brian Kelly there. I mean, that's a pretty good trifecta of hires, isn't it?
Agreed. But as you said, Danny White's the best athletic director in the nation. Look at Tennessee's baseball program. As much as the Lady Vols have struggled, they are still relevant. And football continues to get better, even though it took a bit of a step back last year. You think that it's going to be fantastic in the coming years. So, and Tennessee was first in the Director's Cup. So if I'm Danny White in the SEC, Danny White said Danny White is a rock star and flexing this morning. Smoky Mountain Red said that. Yeah, I'm flexing my agent to get a bigger contract.
Let's talk about what this means on the larger scale too. Because Jimmy's talked about this the other day. He wants a salary cap for NIL. I don't think there's any possible way that a salary cap will hold up in court. I'm just going to be honest. There's no way that it. Yeah.
I think Jimmy would agree with you on that too.
Right. Here's in the age of NIL. Here's who's going to take a hit with salary more than anybody else, Dave. You ready? You know who's going to take a hit?
I'm ready.
Coaches. Their salary is where the sacrifice is going to be made. Because what you're going to enter into is a Moneyball era of coaches, like Moneyball in baseball with the Oakland A's and Billy Beane in 2003. Mm-hmm. You're going to enter that for coaches. There is going to be schools that would rather spend money on NIL to get players, but they don't want to. But they want to keep up their facilities too. Where do you cut the money for the coaches? So what you have to do is you have to identify coaches that no one else has identified and hire them before they're that much in demand. Danny White has already done that with Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel was not in demand when Danny White hired him. He's going to have to do that with the Lady Vols probably pretty soon because I like you and I both agreed Kelly Harper's a dead person walking at this point.
Well, I think that what he did with Heupel was smart. I think he paid him on the front end and got him locked in and knew that Tennessee could take a bit of a step back in 2023. So you're comfortable moving forward. Now, there will be an extension for, I'm told, for Josh Heupel coming up because you want to keep 5 years on the contract to tell a prospect that, hey, I'm going to be here for the next 5 years and your entire career. But I don't think you have to give him a raise based off an 8-4 regular season or 9-4 complete season.
No, and where I was getting with this was because of that revenue, Danny White's not going to have to play Moneyball as much as other schools will with coaches because the NIL is going to be there. And because here's the thing, we talked about the A's played Moneyball, but the Yankees and Red Sox didn't have to play Moneyball. Okay, so playing Moneyball is smart if you have to, but you'd rather be in a position where you don't have to. And now Danny White can pay Josh Heupel. He could play a little Moneyball with the hiring the women's basketball coach, but with this revenue, Tennessee's got enough. Look, money matters way more. Revenue matters way more now than it did 10 years ago. I think we can all agree on that. So you can legitimately put up money to upgrade facilities and get good coaches and have enough for the boosters to pay the players at this point. And that's why the direct revenue matters so much. So Danny White deserves a ton of credit for this. And he's a genius on revenue. His moves is what got UCF into the Big 12 as a Power 5 conference team. And Danny White Tennessee should be lucky to have him because I think more than as important as hires are, raising money matters more than ever for an athletic director. Finding ways to generate revenue is actually more important now than the right hires, quite honestly.
Yep. Fair point. I think that Danny White has done a fantastic job. I think we also have underestimated, and listen, I don't think they should change the name. I think it should be Thompson Bowling Arena, but it's going to be the Food City Entertainment District. I wouldn't underestimate what that's going to do for recruiting for Tennessee because that thing's going to be pretty awesome. And that thing doesn't get done with your average athletic director. Would you agree on that?
Not even close. You're right. Average athletic director is not pulling that off at all. And Danny White, look, I'm going to come. Danny White understands something that many Tennessee athletic directors did not understand, and that many athletic directors and boosters did not understand, which is that you fall behind when you cling to tradition, and you have to stay ahead of the curve. And Danny White, as much as I did not like the Thompson Bowling Arena change to Food City either, it's an era of money's driving athletic departments more than ever because of NIL. And they have to find ways to raise money without getting it from the boosters now because they want the boosters to throw the money at the players. This was a way to do it.